Welcome to another episode of AT 2022 Through Hiking with the Honeymoon Hikers. Today's episode is talking about something we went through, and it's hilarious. Is the reason we want to tell the story. Um, it's not hiking on the AT, it's starting a through hike of the Mountain Sea, but it's with a great friend of ours that we met on the AT in 2012 and hiked the last 1,000 miles with her. And she actually, since 2004, has practically lived on the AT. A lot of you have probably met her along the way. She's been hiking since 2004. She always, most of the time, is on the Appalachian Trail, and she's actually going to be on it this year again. She's supposed to start about 2 weeks before we do, which we're about 60 days out. As long as my shoulder heals, all's going well. It's only been 5 days. It feels like a month, but I'm blessed with a great wife who's my doctor, caregiver, cook, everything. She's amazing. The doctor who did surgery is a great, amazing person. I'm fixing to go down to therapy where our son is the therapist, so it's all in the family. Things are going good. Thank y'all for your prayers and well wishes. And first of all, before we get started with our little story, I want to give a fun fact about the AT. And this is really a fun fact, but also a shout out, because as we hikers know, the Appalachian Trail, without the people that maintain the trail, we would not have this beautiful trail to hike. They keep it clean, they keep it hikeable, accessible, where we don't have to do all the bushwhacking. So yeah, we just want to do a shout out. There's actually 31 clubs and multiple partnerships along with National Park Service and the United States Forest Service, and of course the nonprofit AT Conservancy that are responsible for taking care of the Appalachian Trail. And right now we just want to take a minute and thank them for all that they do, because without that, them taking care of the trail, it's hard telling what the shape that trail would be in. So thank you all for all that you do. If any of you is watching, and you hikers, when you're hiking, you see somebody maintain, just take a minute and thank them, because they're amazing people. But this little story, and remember, it's funny, and nobody was hurt in the making of this story. I don't know how she wasn't hurt, but she wasn't, so it's funny. That's why we're telling it. But here we are, 2017, starting our through hike of the Mountain Sea Trail with our dear friend from the AT, Spirit. Our family takes us up to start the trail, and you have to go up to Clingman Dome's parking lot and hike that 0.5 up to Clingman's Domes. That's where the Mountain Sea Trail starts. We get out of the car. Spirit goes to get her backpack out of the trunk. Trunk's up. Of course, it falls down and hits her on top of the head. So that's the first thing that happens to her. We make it to half a mile up, and then it's 4 miles down the AT by Mount Collins Shelter, and then as AT keeps going, you make a right, 0.3 over to Clingman's Dome Road, and you go off the mountainside. And that's how the Mountain Sea heads. So we make it down there, everything's fine. We make it across the road, and we're starting down this steep decline, going down to the creek to cross over. But as we're going down, we're hiking along. Me and the wife's up in the front, and we hear, ah! Look back, there's no Spirit. So we turn around, go up, and she's falling off the side of the mountain. Thankfully, there's a big brush pile that was stuck down there, and it caught her from going all the way to the bottom. So that's day one of hiking with Spirit on the Mountain Sea Trail. So we get her back, we get her pack off, get her back up. She's not hurt, thankfully, and we head on, make it to camp that night. Well, that night I tell her, now when we leave here, as soon as we leave camp, you're going to go to the left and start climbing. We've got a little steep climb. You don't go to the right, because that's going to take you into Bryson City. So the next morning, Spirit leaves out a few minutes before us, because she always likes to get out before us, because we're faster hikers. Well, when me and the wife head out from camp, I noticed, luckily it was muddy right where the intersection is, noticed the fresh boot prints. They weren't going up the mountain, they were going to the right. So I take my pack off and I start running, and I make it about a mile before she finally hears me hollering, and she's went about 1.5 miles off trail headed to Bryson City. So we get her turned around, get her back on trail. So day two, she gets lost. The rest of the day goes good. We make it to camp, and I think we made it to Smokemont, and we camped there for the night. Next day we get up and it's raining. It's rained all night. Trail's muddy. So we're going along, and I missed this part, and I wished I wouldn't have missed it, because it's the best. But we're going along. I'm way ahead of them, and when they finally catch up, the wife says, "You're not going to guess what happened this time." And I said, "Well, what?" She said, "We're going along, and I hear a yell behind me, and I look, and Spirit has face planted in a big, giant mud puddle. All she sees is the top of her head buried in a big puddle of water and mud."
And
So
Spirit asked me, she said, "How did you know that I fell?" She said, "What'd you do? Feel the ground shake?"
So yeah, that's day three. of hiking with Spirit on the Mountains of Sea Trail. So we finally make it to camp that night and make it with no more incidents. Spirit's still all intact, doing good, still in good spirits after all that's happened in 3 days. By now I'm making up a song of hiking the Mountain Sea Trail with Spirit, but I will not sing it. And so day 4 starts. And and you get up and say, oh, I wonder what's going to happen today. Well, never ask that question. So we finally get to this forest service road that you walk about 6-7 miles, and it comes out up near the Blue Ridge Parkway. And it comes down to Mile High Campground. You walk the road, but when you get down to the bottom before you start up the Mile High Campground, there's like a Vietnam War Memorial or something down there.
It's a Mason.
It's a Mason Memorial, that's what it is. So I'm standing over at the road waiting on them to keep going. I didn't really want to stop. They took pictures, and so here they come over, and the wife's laughing and saying, you're not going to guess. And I said, oh, Lord, what now? Well, Spirit, because she's supposed to wear glasses, but she doesn't, seen some mulberries laying on the concrete there, and she was about to pick one up to eat it till my wife stopped her. And of course, it wasn't mulberries. It was actually elk poop. So she was about to eat that, and she swears she knew it wasn't elk poop, but I don't know. Because you got to remember what's happened the first 3 days. So I think my wife saved her from tasting elk poop. But that was day 4. Yeah, and you're thinking, well, what else can go wrong, right? So we make it to Mile High Campground. We camp for the night. Next morning we get up, and the trail finally gets to where you crisscross the Blue Ridge Parkway all up through North Carolina. And so we get up to where the trail comes out at the Water Rock Knob side trail that takes you up to the top from the parking lot. And we came down to the right to go down to use the restroom and stuff, but we bring our packs because we know the trail's right next to the parking lot. It'll cut off down the mountain. It don't go up to the top. We forgot to tell Spirit that. So we're down at the parking lot, and we wait about 15 minutes. Here comes Spirit, no packer, nothing. We said, where you been? Well, when I come out to the trail, I went ahead and took my pack and took it up, and didn't want to carry it down here and have to carry it back up. I went and buried it. I've hid it way up in the woods behind some trees and stuff. And we said, Spirit, the trail's actually right there. You were supposed to bring your pack down with you. So needless to say, I had to go all the way back up and search for her pack. I finally found it, uncovered it, and carried it down for her to where she wouldn't have to go back up and log it back down. So that was the 5th day of hiking with Spirit, where she's hiding her pack out in the middle of nowhere, going the wrong direction. So yeah, that's the first 5 days of hiking with Spirit. We thought we'd share that with you because I know some of you have had instances like that, maybe not 5 straight days in a row. But after that, she got everything straightened out, and things went well from there for a long time. But we've had a lot of funny experiences with Spirit. We love her to death, but we just want to share that with you all, and hopefully y'all would get a kick out of that. And then I want to show you 2 special coffee mugs that the daughter got us. First one, of course, I believe you've seen with it's got our saying on it, this walk's for Jesus because he made the walk for me, but it's also got Katahdin pictures on it, the snake picture, the rattlesnake that bit my boot when we finished our 4th through hike picture as well, and then just a couple crazy pictures. And then the one I really like, this is my motto, and I'm sure a lot of you coffee drinkers that way. It says, to-do list, wake up, drink coffee, poop, and then be awesome, and that's me. So just thought we'd share them with you. Good laugh this morning. Thank you all again for all your prayers and well wishes, and can't wait to get on the trail and see everybody. God bless and have a great day.